What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today is going to be a little bit of a catch-up and sort of a recap video. If you guys haven't noticed, I've kind of been hit or miss for the past few days when it comes to uploading, and that's due to the fact that I had to make a trip over to Canada, and it was kind of last minute, so I didn't have time to prepare content. So now I am back in Canada, and I'm just getting settled in. So today, what I wanted to do is a recap of everything we know so far about Black Ops Cold War's multiplayer. Now keep in mind, the official multiplayer reveal is happening on September 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So when that time comes, we're going to find out way more than I'm going to be sharing in today's video. But having said this, we can gather a decent amount of information just from a little teaser that we saw at the end of the campaign reveal trailer. And also we got an exclusive sneak peek from Nvidia showing off RTX and stuff. And with this, we see a bunch of the guns that we can expect to see in Cold War, and I wanted to go through those guns as well. Additionally, over the past few days while I've been crazy busy, little bits and pieces of information have just been popping up in the community, so we're going to be covering those today. And the first thing I want to cover here is the early access beta for PS4 has actually been revealed within COD World War II. I don't know if they were supposed to reveal this and they timed this wrong because it wasn't really announced officially anywhere else. But when you booted up COD World War II, I'm not too sure if this is still going on. When you load it up, it actually lets you know that the early access beta for PS4 is coming October 8th. So that's going to be for the people on PlayStation that have pre-ordered the game digitally. And then after that, we will have an open beta where presumably everybody will be able to get in, even if you haven't pre-ordered the game. Now, the timing of that is a little bit sketchy. It's October 8th, and the game is launching on November 13th. So at that stage, it could be argued that it's more of a demo than a beta, but even with a month, they can get a lot of little issues fixed out. The only problem there is it likely wouldn't be enough time for a full rework of any sort of bigger features. But yeah, aside from that, on the competitive side, we also got confirmation that next year's competitive scene will be 4v4, which is quite interesting because traditionally Call of Duty competitive was always 4v4 until Black Ops 4 came around when they swapped over to 5v5, and then that carried through to Modern Warfare. So for the past 2 years, they've been playing 5v5 in competitive, and now they're going back to 4v4. And I know not everybody's really interested in the competitive scene, but it is worth mentioning because that is important information for people that are interested in competitive. This also gives us potentially a bit of information about the scale of the maps that we're going to be finding in multiplayer. This likely means that we are generally going to be seeing the slightly smaller sized maps on average. Of course, I'm sure there will be bigger maps as well. But with that, now let's move into the Nvidia sneak peek. And the most important thing I wanted to point out with this is the gun wall that you can see on the background. And there are a good handful of weapons on there. And since they are there and they're in the game, we can fully expect to see these as operational guns in the game. And let's just start going through what I've noticed here. In this first image, we can see a couple AKMs, an M16A2, looks like an M40 sniper rifle, and then also we've got a revolver here. It appears to be a Colt Python. I'm not a revolver expert, but it doesn't look like a Smith & Wesson. It does appear to be potentially a Colt Python. Also, of course, the gun he's handling is a 1911, but I think that one's pretty obvious. Next up, with a slightly different angle here, we can also see just under his finger, we've got a Beretta 93R, or the Raffica, so it's going to be a 3-round burst pistol. That is confirmed to be coming. You can also see kind of mixed in behind the barrel of another gun, we can see a Steyr AUG. So the AUG is going to be returning as well. Now, just to the right of that, it looks like it could definitely be an SKS. It's a little bit difficult to see the details of the action though, so I'm not 100% on that, but it does look like it could definitely be an SKS there. Then going into the next frame, we can see the two 1911 stacked vertically, possibly the Mustang and Sally returning. Then we have a suppressed pistol there, and I can't quite figure out what this is. It looks very familiar to me. I've been racking my brain. It could just be another 1911 with a suppressor on it. I don't know though. I can't quite put my finger on that. But on the far right-hand side, you can see a shotgun, and that is the SPAS 12. So that is also going to be coming to Black Ops Cold War. So yeah, that's already a good start, a pretty decent selection of guns to kick it off. I'm sure there will be many more than that when we get into the actual game. Aside from that though, within this exclusive sort of sneak peek, we don't really get any other important information, at least that would be applicable to multiplayer. Although something to mention quickly is a Burger Town t-shirt, which Burger Town comes from the Modern Warfare universe, and that sort of further solidifies the fact that this is taking place in the same universe as Modern Warfare. Now let's move into the little multiplayer teaser that was tagged on at the end of the campaign reveal from last week. The first thing I noticed here is on the back of this character, he's got an Uzi. So the Uzi is also confirmed, But then after that, in the character's hands, we can see that they're using an LMG of some description. I don't know exactly what this LMG is. I've been searching around a little bit trying to figure out what it is, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe somebody in the comments could let me know what that is or what they think that is. But it is definitely an LMG. I did measure the aim down sight time because they did show an entire aim down sight animation, and this was about 400 milliseconds. So yeah, definitely an LMG. That's a pretty slow aim down sight time. We don't know what attachments are going to be on here, but you can see it looks like they're decked out with a good number of attachments. Same thing with the Uzi. We had a suppressor. It looks like we had no stock on there, and this could possibly hint at the fact that some form of a gunsmith will be returning, but of course we don't know those details at this point. Next up in the teaser, we can see the chopper gunner is going to be returning, which I think a lot of people are going to be very happy to see. This was definitely a fan favorite from Black Ops 1, and I'm really excited to see this. And from this angle, we can also get a bit of an indication of the scale of this map, and also the fact that we have all these vehicles on the map. If I had to guess, this is Ground War. I think Ground War is going to be returning with Black Ops Cold War, where we will have access to vehicles on the ground. I would definitely be disappointed if these vehicles are in regular 6v6 multiplayer, and this is what 6v6 multiplayer looked like in this game. I'm hoping this is Ground War, and it looks like it definitely could be with the size of the map, because you can see it is quite large, and we can only see the outside area. We saw earlier the people were fighting in the cavern sort of areas, so there's probably a lot more to this map that you can't quite see from this angle as well. And finally, the last thing that we can see here is some sort of a bombing run, which again, I assume this is going to be a kill streak. Now, finally, there's one last thing I wanted to discuss a little bit here, because there's been a lot of controversy in the community about the engine that's used in this game. Apparently, there was an article after the briefing that I was able to attend behind the scenes. An article came out from Call of Duty Intel, or maybe it was Charlie Intel, or it came from somewhere that claimed that the engine being used is actually an upgraded version of the Black Ops 3 engine, and not the Modern Warfare engine. And assuming that article came from the same briefing I attended, they didn't explicitly state that at all. And when you watch through this little multiplayer teaser, this definitely is looking a lot more like Modern Warfare than any previous Call of Duty game. And also in the past, they did mention that the Modern Warfare engine is going to be used as the base going forward for all future Call of Duty games. And it does appear that that is the case. If you just look at these little snippets and the character models and everything, this absolutely looks far more like Modern Warfare than anything. Also, a lot of this is just a lack of understanding of what a game engine is. Of course, I'm sure Treyarch and Raven have been reworking and adjusting various aspects. One thing they did specifically mention was the lighting engine. They have made huge improvements. It looks like they have basically overhauled the lighting for this game, but that doesn't mean that they're not using the Modern Warfare engine as the base. So I just wanted to bring that up because I've been seeing a lot of people saying, no, this isn't the Modern Warfare engine, it's the Black Ops 3 engine, but they've revamped it and they've upgraded it from there. And while that might be right with various tools within the engine, it definitely doesn't appear to be entirely true. But with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I'd like to know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts so far on the multiplayer of Black Ops Cold War, based on what we know, and also just what you want to see as well. What is your sort of wish list for Black Ops Cold War multiplayer? Just let me know those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.